With almost 30 years experience in the oil and gas sector and being in the greater Houston area, one of our really big areas of practice is energy related and specifically oil and gas related properties. Whether you're a landowner leasing property all the way to a chemical company or a manufacturing company who is refining and selling product, we have clients in all of those sectors of business. Wendy, as you know, we're very involved in the acquisition and sale of oil and gas related properties and helping people when they're making transactions in those areas. When we're representing a client in a transaction in the oil and gas sector, what are the sorts of things that we come across and how do we help our client deal with those issues?
I think that obviously there are a lot of legal steps that would be boring to a non-lawyer, but for the most part, I think it's very important to assess your client's risk, do your due diligence, and then sometimes I think what gets lost sight of is what is the client going to use the property for? If you've got a client that is executing an oil and gas lease, they are giving away some of their mineral rights, what are they going to do with the surface after they've given away some of the mineral rights? If you've got a client who's purchasing rights, what are they going to use them for? Let's look at the practical aspect of what your client needs to be sure that the documents you draft accomplish what they really are looking for in the end.
Royce, as you know, we're involved in some fairly sophisticated oil and gas transactions with regard to exploration and farm-out agreements and all of the transactions that oil and gas companies make with each other to joint venture in the exploration and production for oil and gas. Talk a little bit about the sorts of agreements that we work with and the sorts of issues that we deal with in dealing with those documents.
We've had to enter into fairly complex transactions for our clients that involved farm-out agreements and joint operate agreements and a number of ancillary documents that go with those larger complex documents that outline the entire transaction. And the issues that really go along with those is that the clients, the business people are interested in getting into these deals and getting to the end result. And part of our function is to make sure that they've considered all of the various risks that go into their business decisions and the obligations that they're going to incur with these large deals, and have thought through the details of the transaction, such as how to prioritize wells or how to choose the location of the well and how they're going to make those types of joint decisions together.
Wendy, on the upstream side of the business, once oil and gas is processed and it goes through to refineries, and I know we have a few chemical companies that we do work for. What sort of transactions are we looking for when we have a chemical company who is selling an end product to a buyer, and the sorts of contractual issues we deal with on that end?
When we have our upstream clients and the agreements that we are typically looking at for them, usually you're looking at more than one party there, more than one company. And then I think it's really important to look at the protection for your client from more than one aspect, and what each of those parties is going to bring to the table, and how all that interaction is going to happen, and what all the contingencies could be for what could happen. And it's our job as attorneys to predict those things and, as much as possible, protect our client from the possibilities that could occur